Welcome to Inside the Park on FSPN, the weekly recap show for Miami-Dade and Broward High School baseball. I'm Uncle Muggs, and alongside me, as always, is Anthony Chappie Castillo.
My man Muggs, another week, and it's been fantastic. We now have 5 championships between Miami-Dade and Broward. A public school in Dade won a title for the first time in 2015, and we have the results for this year's 2025 FSPYs. So we have a great show lined up for all our viewers today. Uncle Muggs, you spent an entire week in Fort Myers. Let's talk about it, brother.
Well, that's right. I was there from Wednesday to Wednesday, Chappie.
Brother, don't you work? ¿Tú no tienes pincha?
Sí, brother, pero don't say anything, but I told the people at work that I pulled a hamstring.
Coño, you pulled a hammy for a week? What if they see the show?
Papa, I guarantee you that nobody in my office watches this show. They're all a bunch of insurance nerds, and all they do is talk about insurance, and I wouldn't even worry about that, de verdad. Chappie, on today's show, we're going to go over the winners for the FSPY Awards, and the weekly recap is brought to us by our good friends at Florida State Tentless Termite Treatment. You can forget about the hassle of tenting and evacuating your home. The tentless treatment means no disruption to your life. Florida State solutions are eco-friendly, pet-friendly, safe for your family, and it targets termites right where they live, deep inside of your home. Call Florida State today and get your free inspection. They've been keeping Florida homes safe for over 25 years. Mention that you heard the ad here and get an extra 10% off. Now, Chappie, it's time for the first pitch player spotlight. And what do you have for us this week?
All right, so this week is basically the final week due to state championships being over. So we got to be a little bit extensive, and we got to highlight some amazing talent. First, we're going to start with the first pitch player spotlights, and it'll be some 220-26s out of Kohea. First lined up is Jose Aviles, third baseman infielder, was around 5'8", utility player, great defensive player. We love his hands. And I love his attitude at the plate. Shows a gap-to-gap approach with a knack for barrels. And this kid is clutch. Moving on is a catcher, 6'2", named Ernesto Velasco. And Ernesto, this kid has raw power, and he likes to show that poolside juice. But don't get it twisted. You hang him a breaking ball, and he'll hit it out. We really like this kid, and defensively shows a solid 1.92 behind the plate. Let's move over to first pitch certified student athletes who are on my advisory board. A utility player out of Cypress Bay named Diego Barron. 5'9", 170-pound utility player who slashed over 370 for Cypress Bay. Led in every major offensive category for Cypress Bay. This kid is still uncommitted, and he will be off the board soon. College coaches, make sure you're reaching out to me if you are watching this, and I know you guys are watching this. Let's continue with some state champions who are also on my advisory board. A key contributor to the Miami Springs State Champs run is a first baseman outfielder named Darian Soto. Soto is a class of 2025 uncommitted senior, and he shows a lot of potential to move forward. And I'm looking forward to helping this young man find him a home at the next level. Another key contributor for Miami Springs in their state title run, and another first pitch certified student athlete. Right-handed pitcher Anthony Espinoza. Espinoza, who led the Miami Springs pitching staff in ERA, was a key contributor in their state title run. And we're looking forward to working with this young man and finding him a home soon. Last but not least is an outfielder who was tops in batting average on his team. If he was not top 3, he was top 4. Austin Argote, outfielder, who is a spark plug, great athlete, great kid on and off the field. I'm really looking forward to helping this kid and finding him a home at the next level. And I want to give a shout out now to some first pitch certified commitments out of Palmetto. First is Jack Gordon, who is committed to Erskine, Division II out of South Carolina. Congratulations to you and your family, brother. And last on this list is going to be Sebastian Hernandez, who will be committed to Point Park University in Pittsburgh, Division II. Congratulations to Sebastian Hernandez on your commitment, brother. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in every single week, listening to the show and to the podcast, and supporting the First Pitch Player spotlights. And I never really thought that it would blow up the way it did, and I have to give the shout out to the viewers and everybody who's been following me, because without you guys, it's not possible. And yeah, man, it's been wonderful the entire year to be able to do this and to continue to help out talent all across South Florida. Again, my 2025 advisory board is still available. Time is limited for you guys in that class. I'm doing everything I can to push you guys. Make sure you reach out to me. And my class of 2026 is definitely available. Make sure you guys are reaching out to me. God bless everybody, and thank you guys for tuning in right here at First Pitch Baseball.
Wow, Chappie, that was good again. Once again, you haven't stopped the whole season. But wait, now that the season's over, it doesn't mean that they can still reach out to you, right?
No, of course. You guys can reach out to me.
Okay.
Reach out to me at First Pitch Baseball on Instagram, or you can reach out to me on via my phone number 786-873-8552. Go ahead and reach out to me, DM me, message me, call me, whatever you guys need. I'm here at your service.
All right. We'll be right back with the weekly recap of scores and highlights from the FHSAA State Championship when we come back to Inside the Park right after this. Welcome back to Inside the Park, the weekly recap show for South Florida High School Baseball. Uncle Muggs alongside Chappie Castillo. And it's time for the very last weekly recap for the 2025 spring season. But don't worry, baseball fans. FSPN will be following around some nationally ranked teams this summer all over the United States. We'll be in Palm Beach for Memorial Weekend in this tournament, and we'll cover teams like the 2027 San Diego Padres Scout Team, Los Explorers, and many more ranked teams. So stay tuned, subscribe, hit the notify button to be reminded of these events.
On the FSPN summer schedule, we hope to cover 6 to 8 games. I've seen some of those teams out there that you've mentioned, and a lot of those rosters are stacked.
Yeah, it's going to be a good summer, Chappie. So this past week, I was in Fort Myers covering the FHSAA State Finals in a beautiful and spacious Hammond Field. And before we get started, Chappie, I just want to say that this is a professional field. This is where the Minnesota Twins play. So home runs that are hit here are legit home runs. They're not playing in Abuelita's backyard.
No offense to Abuelita's backyard and to my Miami little bandbox fields.
Don't mention any names.
No. That's why I kept it in general.
Westminster.
Throw.
With that said, let's start in Class 1A. The state semifinal brought the Brito Panthers, that are led by their head coach, Pedro Guerra, and they found themselves in a semifinal game against St. John's Country Day, the number 1 ranked school in Florida. And I know, tremenda suerte to draw those guys.
Wow, man, lo pobre.
The Panthers were in the fight of their life now against the Spartans. Brito sent Sammy Castro to the mound. Castro only gave up 2 hits in 6 innings and struck out 5 batters. And usually that's good enough to win on any day except that day. Country Day scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and that's all she wrote, Chappie. There was no more scoring. It was nothing but goose eggs the rest of the way for both teams, and it ended 2-0. Neither team ever got anything going. They never got a big inning, so Brito was sent home after the semi. But a great season nonetheless for the Panthers of Brito.
It's such a heartbreak. Like, to lose 2-0, not get anything, that's a heartbreaking. Pinder and Diaz each had 2 hits for Brito in that game, and despite Brito out-hitting Country Day 6-2, we have to say a great season for our boys at Brito. And I also want to give a shout-out to the assistant coach over there who gets the last laugh, and you know who I'm talking about. That third base coach is one of the most underrated coaches here. Brought a Brito team into a mix in which nobody wanted to give them their flowers. And at the end of the day, when you continue to do what you have to do, you get the last laugh at the end of the day because nobody expected you guys to get to where you guys were. And I just want to say congratulations. You guys were phenomenal, and you guys continue to turn heads every single week.
All right, St. John's was the defending champion, and they headed to the final game to play a local Fort Myers team called the Canterbury Panthers. And in the final game, Canterbury stripped the defending champions of their state title by beating St. John's 6-2. So congrats to head coach Frank Turco on a fantastic season.
Congrats to the champs of 1A.
Let's jump over to 2A. The Scots of St. Andrews, they earned a spot in their Final Four in Fort Myers, and the Scots faced the First Academy out of Orlando in the semifinals. And the Scots lost that game 3-2, Chappie. First Academy would go on to beat Trinity Christian and win the Class 2A Florida State title. So congrats to the Royals and to head coach Alan Kunkel.
For those of you that don't know who head coach Alan Kunkel is, he is a very prestigious coach and one day will be a Hall of Fame head coach. He continues to leave his mark at several programs, not just here, but also at Calvary Christian, if you guys remember that for a little while. So congrats to Coach Kunkel.
Let's move up to Class 3A, where the Miami Springs Golden Hawks are one of the two representatives of the 305 in the state finals. And they played their semifinal game against the mighty Bishop Barreau Vikings, a local Fort Myers school. And Chappie, dime la verdad, nobody had Miami Springs beating Bishop Barreau, did you?
Bueno, I can tell you for a fact that when they went into game one, and I said to myself, if Bishop Barreau goes to Joey Lawson game one, there's no shot Miami Springs wins this game.
I don't think that many people had Miami Springs advancing. But like you always say, la pelota es cuadrada y viene en una caja redonda.
No, it's la pelota es redonda y viene en una caja cuadrada. Come on, Muggsy. In any case, the Hawks put a shellacking on those Vikings and beating them 12-2.
And yes, of course, El Roquetero was on the mound for Miami Springs, Kevin Roque. Y mira, he was marvelous, going 6 innings, handing out 7 of those delicious roquetas. And the senior leader of this team, Kelvin Pereira, hit a 3-run homer to put this one out of reach. Miguel Estevez had 3 RBIs. Jordani had 2 RBIs. And it was just a barrage. Every single Golden Hawk in that starting lineup got on base. And they upset the Vikings of Bishop Barreau. In fact, they KO'd them 12-2 in 6 innings.
Wow, you know what that means.
You know what that means. Banderita for you. So let's take a look now at the post-game interview after that first game from Miami Springs.
Everybody's not stunned that you won today, but the way that you did it and just mercy rolling a team that's 32-2. Could you have ever imagined beating this team the way you did today, like this?
Not really, you don't go into games trying to knock teams out. You just go in and try to compete. Rock came out, set the tone, 1, 2, 3 inning, and then, the hitters just had some competitive at-bats, had some good walks, hit by pitches, a couple timely hits, and then we had that big inning, and I think it was the 6th, where it kind of just blew the game open.
That was a big moment.
It was at the right spot, and I was able to make the catch. And thankfully, my second baseman was there to catch it. He was a big part of it. I really just tried to throw it to the bag, but he was there. Honestly, without him, I wouldn't have made the play.
Bob, talk to me about out there today, getting settled in, and you get. Was there nerves? It's your first time pitching at state. You go out there and you look like you found a pretty nice groove pretty early on.
Well, yeah, coming out here, you step on the mound, you just look around, you see everybody cheering on you. You do get a little nervous, that's normal. But once I that 1, 2, 3 inning, that really hyped me up. I was so excited. I see these kids hitting. It's amazing. The amount of confidence you come out there, you have to be there to feel it.
Yeah, and I also want to bring up how impressive that hitting performance from Miami Springs was. These guys were relentless, great at-bats, showing why they've been the cream of the crop down here in Miami.
So the Cinderella Hawks put the slipper on, and they were off to the final game. And the very next day, they played the Seahawks of South Walton, who some people were saying that was the best team ever assembled in the panhandle of Florida. They have an Auburn commit, a Florida State commit. This team was 31-1 during the season. I mean, they beat IMG. They run-ruled the Arnold Marlins twice. And that's a team that's in the finals of the Final Four in Class 4A. The Seahawks team was stacked, Chappie. They were huge. One guy was like 6'6", the other one was 6'4", and they looked like the Monstars. You remember that Space Jam movie with Jordan? The team that they played, those giant... That's what they looked like. Eran unos gigantes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But the Golden Hawks scored first in the top of the second inning with a solo blast off the bat of Taylor Ancheta. Chappie, Ancheta hit a missile over the right field fence. Check out the video. After that, all that pitcher Magdiel Estevez needed was to shut down the mighty Seahawks the rest of the way, and that he did. Mags threw a two-hitter, allowing just one run y repartiendo 6 croqueticas.
Nice.
They say that pitching and defense wins titles, and the defensive display that the Hawks put on was unbelievable. First by the shortstop Roydan Perez, and then by Jordani Gonzalez that did his best Craig Nettles imitation at third base. Gonzalez had 5 chances, and each one was a masterpiece.
Congratulations to my boy David Fanshaw and the whole Miami Springs Hawks roster, and Coach Dominguez, Coach Jesus, and Coach Bob. First ever win and first ever title for Miami Springs. And for David Fanshaw, his second state title, second Final Four appearance, and now finally coming out with a state title. Congratulations, boys.
Congratulations, Miami Springs.
You'll start by introducing yourself and each of the athletes that you have here so we have it on record.
Sure. To my left, far left, Kelvin Pereira. We have Taylor Ancheta, Kevin Roque, Magdiel Estevez, and Jordani Gonzalez.
Coach, can you make a statement about the game?
I'll let these guys start it off. I'm a little lost for words right now.
You want to go first? To be honest, it's a big blessing to be here. I've never made it this far, and it's a very. I thank God that I've made it to where I'm at. My team is as good as it is this year. I'm just happy to be here.
That's real. Hang on.
Take a picture.
And in Class 4A, the semifinals, it was the Jesuit Tigers against the Mulberry Panthers. Mulberry scored 2 runs in the first inning and 1 more in the third and held on to win 3-2 in what, in my opinion, was the upset.
Yeah, and to see a really top team, basically one of the best teams, top 5 ranked in all of Florida, going down, and that's a heartbreaker, man. That Jesuit team, they've always been, if not the best team in that class, one of the best teams in that class for the last 4, 5, 6 years, from what I can remember.
I was hoping to see a Jesuit American Heritage final, but obviously that's not going to happen. American Heritage played in the other semifinal, and they played the Arnold Marlins of Panama City Beach. Patriots needed 1 extra inning to walk it off against the Marlins 3-2. So on Tuesday night, the American Heritage Patriots sent the lefty Mark Alemán to the mound with hopes of capturing a state title against the Mulberry Panthers. Alemán went 5 innings for Heritage, allowing 0 runs on 2 hits and striking out 5. American Heritage put 5 runs on the top of the second inning, and it was pretty much over by then. All they had to do was go through the formalities of getting 15 more outs, and the job was done. The Patriots defeated Mulberry by a score of 6-1, and Heritage will bring home a state title back to Plantation. So congratulations to American Heritage. And what'd you think about that?
Yeah, man, we were hoping to see that Jesuit and American Heritage final game, but it didn't happen. And you have to play whoever. Whoever they put in front of you is who you have to play. And the Patriots did that. They deserve every bit of this title. Congrats on an incredible season to Mulberry and to Heritage Patriots. What can I say, man? You guys have been impressive the entire year. There's no reason for you guys to not have won this title. You guys beat who you needed to beat and took care of business. Congratulations.
On Thursday, the Class 5A semifinals got underway, and the Matter Academy Lions faced a local team from Fort Myers called the Green Wave. The head coach of Matter Academy, Humberto Bencomo, he decided not to go with their ace, Alfred Rosario, in Game 1, And to me, that was a very risky move because if that didn't pay off, he would definitely be scrutinized. And when the Green Wave came out with 3 runs in the first inning off of the starter, Heldy La Rosa, I said, oh boy, they're going to cut off Humberto's head when they get back to Hialeah. And when Fort Myers put up 2 more runs and made the game 5-0 in the 4th inning, they may not wait to get to Hialeah to cut Humberto's head off. They might do it right there in the parking lot. But in the bottom of the 4th inning, the Matter Academy Baseball Club said, wait a minute, we got them right where they want them. And they've been doing this the entire year. They've been coming from behind, and they fought back with a 3-run 4th inning, and they scored 4 more in the 5th inning for a total of 8 unanswered runs. When it was all over, the Lions beat the Green Wave 8-5. Vladi Badalpina came in to throw 4 innings, and he handed out 7 croquetas and got the win. Alfred Rosario did pitch in this game. He came in to get the final 2 outs, and the Lions won. So Bencomo's crazy plan was starting to make sense. You got to trust in your players, and together great things can happen. So on Saturday's final Class 5A game, it was the Wesley Chapel Wildcats to face the Lions. This time, Alfred Rosario did start the game for Matter, and they scored early and often. The Lions put up 3 in the bottom of the 1st and never looked back. Rosario kept the Wesley Chapel lineup in check with some spectacular defensive plays from Brandon Lorenzo and Yodelkis Quevedo over at 3rd base. And there was no beating the Matter Academy Lions on this day. And like Willie Chirino says, lo que está pa ti, nadie te lo quita. So my hat's off to the Matter coaching staff for having the cojones to make that call. They deserve every bit of this, as well as the players, the administration, the coaches. You guys kept it together all season long, despite injuries and a bad start. Everyone had each other's back, and Humberto comes out of this looking like a genius. And he's probably on a beach right now in Santo Domingo with a cigar in one hand, a blue label in the other hand, and a big old smile on his face. So congratulations to Humberto and the entire Matter family.
All I can say, man, 6 strong, bro. Congratulations to you guys. You guys were incredible.
And that's a fly ball to Noguera. He's going to get it. Noguera's going to win. When we want the Matter win, the Matter Academy Lions are the champions. We're the champs. We're the 5A champs. We're taking the ring back to Miami.
Es por este señor que está aquí.
It's for the sir that's right here.
Y Saúl Olivera, nuestro coach, que se murió hace 3 años.
One of our coaches that has passed 3 years ago.
Del cual, más que un juego, es honrarlo a él, a nuestra familia, ponerlos alegría. Era más que simplemente un trofeo, era simplemente, estamos peleando algo más que simplemente un trofeo. Era por honrar y poner el nombre de Saúl Olivera en alto.
It was more than just a trophy and a medal. We played for him, we honored the games for him, and we wanted to bring it home for him.
He was a coach.
Moving over to Class 6A, the semifinal between the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders that are led by their Key West native and head coach Joey Wardlow. They played the Bloomingdale Bulls out of Valrico, Florida. And St. Thomas exploded, Chappie, 15 runs in just 4 innings. And there was crazy guts everywhere. They blew up. The carnage. I felt bad for Bloomingdale.
The batting, the batting practice before the game, how is it all going in? Because you guys were just all locked in, right from the start.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 days of practice before we left over here, we practiced the timing and being on the clock because it's the first time all year we've been on the clock. So, but I mean, everything flowed well, and our coaches, they just teach us, get the foot down early, swing on top, and so we did. We got good pitches. We didn't miss them, and everybody just passed it on to the next guy.
But that got St. Thomas into the final game. And on Saturday, St. Thomas beat a very good Bushholz team from Gainesville to bring home another state title for South Florida. And Chappie, for Dayton Broward, that's 4 rings now, and they're looking for number 5 with Stoneman Douglas in Class 7A.
St. Thomas Aquinas, my boys Jaden LaBeouf, my boy CJ Pangayo. Congratulations on Nico Sabatino on your commitment and winning a state title. man, you guys were impressive. You guys were incredible the whole year. You guys defeated some really good teams along the way, including one of our own here at Doral. All I can say, man, is hats off and, way to handle business.
Oye, Sabatino ese metió una raya para right field, papá.
That kid's the real deal.
So, Coach, if you want to go ahead and start by introducing yourself, each of the athletes you have here with you, and then we'll let you make a statement about the game if you'd like.
Hi, my name is Joey Wardlow, head baseball coach, proud coach at St. Thomas Aquinas. This is Johnny Lopez, he's a senior. Brady Bucksbaum, he's a sophomore. A junior. I was trying to get you 2 more years. Nico Sabatino, he is also a junior. Base runners and barrels. And we did it early. They brought in that big right-hander. It was a little bit different. I don't think we got away from our game plan. I think he just did a good job. But we kept battling through that. And like I said yesterday, when we get some runs, we only got to stack 1 or 2 at a time. Every one we get, they got to score 2 to beat us. So we kind of went with that plan. We took advantage of some mistakes and kind of worked out.
And in the Class 7A semifinal, it was the 4-time defending champion, the Stoneman Douglas Eagles, against the Alonzo Ravens from Tampa. The Eagles put their ace on the mound, the lefty, Gio Rojas. And Rojas shut down the Ravens for 7 innings, allowing only 1 hit while giving out 16 croquetas. And on Saturday night, the Douglas Eagles would five-peat as champions by beating the Jupiter Warriors 3-2 in the final game. And to make Florida baseball history, being a 5-time champion. At the end of the week, Dade and Broward took home 5 of the 7 class titles. What a week. Congratulations to Springs Matter, St. Thomas, American Heritage, and Douglas. Way to represent the 954 and the 305. And thank you for a great season, you guys. It has been truly unforgettable. Well, Chappie, that's it for the finals, the FHSAA tournament for 2025. What are your thoughts on all of this?
It was a spectacular run for all those state championship teams, and I'm looking forward for 2026, man. You guys left me speechless this year, and I can only imagine what's the future, man. Congratulations to everybody that won. Enjoy it. To David Fanshaw and Humberto, make sure you guys leave me a couple cigars over at the golf range, please, so I can enjoy, please.
When we come back, we're going to go over the winners for the year-end FSPY Awards. So stay tuned to Inside the Park. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back to Inside the Park, the weekly recap show on FSPN for Miami-Dade and Broward High School baseball. Well, Chappie, now that the season is over, we can turn our attention to the year-end awards, the FSPYs. And on today's show, we're going to go over the 6 winners for the first annual FSPY Awards.
First off, we would like to say thank you for everyone that participated and voted on Instagram. To all the fans and to all the viewers that have been continuously, weekly, poking me and Muggsy to get this going. Thank you guys, and trust me when I tell you that it was all worth it.
We already gave away 2 FSPYs in person in Fort Myers. The first one was the Junior Player of the Year.
And for this award, our nominees were Chase Churn out of Gulliver Prep. Our second nominee, out of Ferguson, Alain Marquez. And our winner, out of Matter Academy, third baseman, Yodelkis Quevedo.
And here's a video of Yodelkis accepting his award in the hotel in Fort Myers. I have the honor to give out the very first FSPY award to a junior who very well deserves it. This guy hit over 365. He had 35 hits, 31 RBIs. He was consistent as heck at third base defensively, like you wouldn't believe. He was a leader on this team. When they asked him to play another position, he says, no problem, buddy, I'm going to do my best. I want to give this award to Yodelkis Quevedo, Junior Player of the Year. All right, I want to give you this award. It's the first one, and hopefully one day you will be an answer to a trivia question that who received the first FSPY, and it was this guy right here. So if you could do me the honor, and please, sácamela, Yodelkis. There it is, the Junior Player of the Year, Yodeki Quevedo, the very first ESPY. And once again, you guys, thank you very much. Parents, everybody involved, thank you for that. Diago, papi. Diago.
Sácame la mugs.
All right, guys, thank you once again. Uncle Muggs here from the state championships and the FHSAA finals. And the second FSPY was given out to the 2025 Senior Pitcher of the Year.
And in this category, we had 3 great nominations. Our first nominee was at Columbus, starting pitcher Matthew Rios. Our second nominee, out of Doral, a future Major League Baseball player, Marcelo Rodriguez. And our last nominee, out of Miami Springs and a Nova commit, Kevin Roque.
And the winner of the 2025 FSPY for the Senior Player of the Year goes to the Miami Springs Golden Hawk, Kevin El Roquetero Roque. Congratulations, Kevin.
Congratulations.
La croqueta.
La croqueta.
First of all, I want to say congratulations. You were amongst 3 finalists, which one of them was Marcelo Rodriguez, and the other was Luis, the lefty, and you came out on top. So you are the recipient of the FSPY. Oh, and I left this. This was for yesterday. The flag. So this is for you. You are the 2025 pitcher.
Oh
of
my
the
God!
year.
It's so good.
Dade County.
Turn it. There you go.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
You earned it.
Let's start off with the Sophomore Player of the Year category. And these 3 finalists were Landon Tools out of Westminster Christian. Our next nominee is JC Leon out of JC Bermuda's Thunder. And our last nomination out of Belen, Jake Cueto. Congratulations to all the nominees.
And the winner of this year's 2025 Sophomore Player of the Year is Belen center fielder Jake Cueto. Congratulations, Jakey.
Welcome to Inside the Park. This is Chappie, and we're here with Jake Cueto here at Belen Jesuit. We're here for an interview, or what he thinks is an interview, but in reality, we're presenting him with the Sophomore Player of the Year award. So congratulations to our boy Jake. What does it mean to you to have the award, brother?
Well, first, I appreciate you guys watching me the whole season. It's been a pleasure, having people record me and do all that. But it means a lot. I put a lot of hard work into this, and I just thank my family and Coach Jesse and all the coaching staff for being able to push me every single day, every single practice, and my teammates that they're always there for me no matter what. So, yeah.
Congratulations, man.
But thank you guys. Thank you guys.
We'll be right back with more FSPY winners. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Let's go over the Sophomore Pitcher of the Year. And in this category, we have from Cohia, Jaden Lau. And from Matter Academy, it's Gabo Granadillo. And from South Ridge, it's Isaac Vidal.
And for this year's Sophomore Pitcher of the Year, the award goes to Isaac Vidal out of Southridge. Congrats, Isaac.
Yeah, that was almost a no-brainer right there. What he did this year on the mound was downright spectacular. We have 2 more years of Isaac Vidal, so Ridge fans, look out. You're going to get a quality start every time Vidal is on the mound, so you can go over there and fill up Robbie Smith Stadium. In the Junior Pitcher of the Year category, we have some really good arms here, and you can't go wrong with any of these 3. First, there's Donovan Theory of Coral Shores. Then there's Alex Diaz of True North Academy. And then there's Alcides Alvarez of the Southwest Eagles.
It's Euclides.
Euclides.
Well, while we're talking about him, we might as well mention him that he is our winner of the Junior Pitcher of the Year. Congratulations to Euclides Alvarez out of Southwest. And here's a clip of him receiving his award. Welcome to Inside the Park with your co-host, and I'm Chappie Castillo. We are here with the nominee for Junior Pitcher of the Year, Euclides Alvarez. And not only are we here just to tell him that he's a nominee, but we're here to congratulate him and tell him that he is our Junior Pitcher of the Year. Here you go, Euclid. That's all you, brother. And show everybody that awesome trophy. And go ahead and let everybody know how much this means to you, man.
It means a lot of work put into this. Want to thank my coaches and my teammates for helping me out along the way. My mom always pushing me, a little extra mile, always, and my dad being there for me.
And what does this award mean for you for the future?
Puts a little, not more gas, but
Incentive, huh?
Yeah, for next year.
All right, man. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy that award with your friends and family. All right, brother?
Thank you.
Have a good one. You too. And to everybody out there, thank you for tuning in on Inside the Park.
In the Senior Player of the Year category, we have the Varela Viper lefty, Luis Sosa. And then there's that third baseman from the Doral Academy Firebirds, Gabo Milano. And rounding out this year's category for Player of the Year, it's the center fielder for the Braddock Bulldogs, Marcelo Torres.
First off, I want to congratulate all the nominees. You guys had a phenomenal year, from Marcelo Torres to Luis Sosa to Gabo Milano. So this year's Senior Player of the Year for our FSPY nominations goes to Gabo Milano from Doral Academy.
All right,
congratulations, Pops.
We're calling him right now. He doesn't know. He doesn't expect this.
Oh, okay. We're doing this live.
We're calling Gabo.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Let's give him a call. Let's call Gabo Milano. See if he picks up.
Hello?
Gabo, this is Uncle Muggs and Chappie Castillo calling you from Inside the Park on FSPN. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm doing good. How are you guys?
What's up, Gabo? How you doing, Pops? Great to hear from you.
Good to hear from you. How are you, Chappie?
I'm doing great, Pops. Awesome.
Hey, thanks for picking up, buddy. We have some good news for you. As you know, you were nominated for Player of the Year along with the lefty from Varela, Luis Sosa, center fielder from Braddock, Marcelo Torres, and you came out the winner of the 2025 FSPY for Senior Player of the Year. So congratulations.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm super excited. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right. Any shout-outs?
Yeah, I mean, a huge shout-out to you guys for making this all happen, and this is awesome. I'm super excited to be part of this, and this is an honor to win this award.
Gabo, thank you so much, man. You had an incredible year, man, and I hope you enjoy this with your friends and your family at home. All right, buddy?
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
And Gabo, I just want to say it was so much fun watching you. We literally held our breath in every at-bat this season. Thank you for making it so unforgettable, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for going to every game and supporting high school baseball. You guys are the best.
Awesome. All right, there you have it, folks. Gabo Milano, he's the Senior Player of the Year. Moving over to the 2025 Coach of the Year category, we have 6 finalists for the Head Coach of the Year. First, from the West Broward Bobcats, it's Howard Stein. The Bobcats had an unbelievable run this season. Next, we have Adrian Nieto of the True North Academy. And the Titans, they made history this season. Of course, there's Doral head coach Ralph Suarez, and the legend continues to grow over there at Doral. Next is the head coach for the Mater Academy Lions, Humberto Bencomo. And the next finalist is the head coach for the Miami Springs Golden Hawks, David Fanshaw. The last coach on this list is the Belém Jesuit Wolverine head coach, Jesse Fernandez.
And now, our winner for the 2025 FSPY Coach of the Year goes to Jesse Fernandez of the Belém Jesuit Wolverines. Congratulations, Jesse, and congratulations on a phenomenal season and carrying and leading that team towards a regional final and 1 game away into a Final Four.
Let's take a look at the video of Coach Fernandez accepting his award. All right, welcome to Inside the Park, everybody. Uncle Muggs here, and I'm with the head coach of the Belém Wolverines, and we're about to present the Coach of the Year award. And Jesse, you were nominated amongst your peers. You had guys in there like Howard Stein from the Bobcats of Breezy Boys up in West Broward. Humberto was in this group. So was Coach Suarez, Adrian Nieto, and a few more. But we came to the conclusion that you did a lot more with less this year, and that's what true coaching is all about. So on behalf of Chappie, myself, and everybody at FSPN, we want to present you with the Coach of the Year award, buddy. You deserve it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Muggsy. I mean, honestly, with some of the names that are up there, I'm truly surprised that I'm the one that deserves this. Specifically, a big shout out to Umberto. I think Fanshawe was up there as well.
Fanshawe was in that group as well.
Those are two guys specifically, them that I look up to and I owe a lot to. And since I've been out here and started coaching, it's two guys that I've always kept in contact with. Two guys that I've battled with left and right. Umberto beating us in district championships my first 2 years here. Fanshawe, just the battles we've had year in and year out, even back to my Gables and Terra days. Just overall, man, I can't accept this without thanking my coaches who are with us here every single day. If you don't know everything about Belen, we're coaching kids all the way down to 6th grade. So the fact that we can do all of this together, this is more for them than for me, because honestly, I'm not who I am without those guys here, and ultimately for the kids too, who there was a lot of ups and downs. Towards the back end of the year, there was a lot of downs, and the fact that we kind of kept it together and these guys kept battling is honestly everything a coach could dream of, and this is for you guys. I get to carry it, but honestly, it's a team thing, and I owe this to you guys and all the guys that support us in our corner and give me the chance to do this. My wife, everybody that deals with me when I go home, happy, sad, whatever it may be. I genuinely owe this to all you guys, and thank you.
All right, so let's take a look at it.
Oh, definitely. I want to take this thing out.
And like the popular saying this year has been, Sácamela, Jesse.
Sácamela. Damn, do I got to do the Yo X? Sácamela, mugs.
All right, guys, stay tuned. We'll have more of the FSPY Awards coming up right after this on Inside the Park, right here on FSPN. Thanks for watching.
Damn, this is awesome.
Great choice, right, Chappie? And listen, I know what everybody out there is going to say because they've already started to say it. There's some state champions on the list, and they deserve to get it. Why didn't they get it? I'm going to tell you why they didn't get it. Both Umberto and Fanshawe at Miami Springs, they were driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And of course they made it to the final. They still had to coach their asses off to get there. I get it. But what Fernandez did at Belém with that team that was missing their best player for the last 3 weeks of the season and got them into one game away from going to Fort Myers, now that's damn right impressive.
Yes, I have to agree with you, Muggsy. He was impressive. That coaching staff was impressive, and he deserves that award. We have 2 categories left, and one of them is the Chappie Award. This award goes to 3 nominees, in which these nominees are Miami Beach shortstop Lennox Munoz. Our next nomination is at Coral Gables, shortstop Diego Yanez. Last on this list is at Monsignor Pace, catcher Robert Kramer.
And this year's 2025 Chappie Award goes to Diego Yanez of Coral Gables. Congrats to Diego and his dad Fofi. That's right, his dad Fofi, because I guarantee you that most of these players out there were influenced and supported by their fathers and their families. Congratulations to Fofi as well as Diego, and good luck at Montgomery. Here's a video of Diego receiving his award.
Welcome everybody to Inside the Park with your co-host, Chappie Castillo. Guys, I want to say that it's been an amazing year so far, and I want to go into one of our last segments and one of our last accolades for the FSPY nominations. This nomination was something that was very last minute, and if you notice, nobody was really nominated until the very, very last minute. And we did that so that it would be a surprise, and it would be something in which we can continue to give out and show more appreciation to all of the talent from down here in South Florida. Now, with that being said, the Chappie Award is something that signifies leadership. Leadership on and off the field. And this award today is going to go to somebody who is a 4-year letterman. He is committed to Montgomery College. He slashed 320. He had 5 doubles. He hit a bomb. And he led his team in almost every offensive category. He played the leadership role on defense, which is at shortstop, very vocal, and you have to lead by example, and this young man did that. So without further ado, I'd like to present the Chappie Award to our first annual finalist and winner, to Diego Llanes. Diego.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very honored and thankful. I'd like to thank my parents, my sister, aunts, uncles, cousins, God for pushing me my entire life. It all goes down to this moment. I'd like to thank my coaches, first of all, Antonio Rodriguez, Slinky, Coach Torres, A-Rod, for being every day at practice, pushing me to be the best possible person. I'd like to thank my teammates for never giving up on me, always looking up to me. And, obviously the highest person always has a bad day, and they never let me get there. They always push me, and they're like, you're the leader of this team, and, you're going to take us to the promised land. So I'm very grateful, and I'm honored to be the first finalist of the Chappie Award. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. This is our finalist and our award winner for the Chappie Award. Thank you guys for tuning in right here on FSPN.
In the final category for the FSPYs is the Muggs Award. And this award goes to the player that best exemplifies me. It's got to be the best teammate, the most positive and funniest guy on the team. And my 3 finalists are Damian Espinales of Archbishop Carroll, AJ Cruz of the Miami Sunset Knights, and John Perez of the San Brendan's Sabres.
This year's FSPY nomination for the Muggs Award goes to Jan Perez of the St. Brendan Sabres. Congratulations to Jan Perez and your teammates for a phenomenal season, and you definitely deserve to be the winner and finalist of the Muggsy Award.
Those are the winners for the 2025 FSPY Awards. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate everybody that participated. Any final thoughts before we go, Chappie?
Just want to give a shout out to all of our friends and families and all of the players that continuously reached out to us and made this season special. It's now without families, moms, dads, abuelos, abuelas, uncles, aunts that tune in to see your kids, to see your grandchildren perform, play, see how their schools did. And without you guys, our channel doesn't exist because we need viewers. And I know that we create great content. And I want to say thank you, Muggsy, because, brother, without you, this wouldn't have been done. Muggsy goes out of his way to do production. Muggsy writes all the scripts. Muggsy goes out of his way, and he does more than anything you guys can think of. He does hours and hours of editing for this. Without him, this is not possible. So thank you, brother.
Stop, man. Thank you. Thank you. No, without you guys, and I want to give, can I go on a little rant?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I want to give some special shout outs to a few people that really became friends for life, Chappie, during this season. The first one is JD, my boy at Matter, and that's George Diaz. This is the coolest guy you can ever meet, and I am honored to call you my brother. Another one is South Dade head coach Omar Baldo, another amazing person. We were constantly throughout the season chatting, and he would send me videos and everything. So great all-around guy. And of course, I want to thank Suarez and Carry On over at Doral. I want to thank Robles and Sebastian at St. B's. I also want to thank Jesse, the legend Padron, and Roca over at Belém. Thank you, you guys. You guys really made me feel like family this season. Also, Mandy and the entire crew at Southwest. And there's just too many of them to mention. They have like 62 coaches over there, and Rosie. But thank you, guys. And to my Killian Cougars, my beloved Cougars, Chris Leon, you gave me the opportunity in the fall to test out my gear and equipment on your field. You opened your doors to me without even knowing who I was. And for that, I will forever be grateful to you, my brother. Your staff, your parents, and the entire program. Incredible what you're doing over there at Killian. And finally, I want to thank Coach Mo and everybody at South Ridge, Ivan, Mike, Ellie, that's Panda's mom, for always making me feel at home. In the 80s, I was scared to go to South Ridge. But now, I can't wait for the next time I go down there and I sit next to the Candyman and call a game for Spartan Nation. And to all the seniors, thank you for making this season unforgettable. I'm going to miss talking to you guys before the game, like Pardo and Rodriguez over there in center field. And I want to say thank you to Yamosas and Martinez at Braddock and Ponte and Sosa at Varela. Hernandez, Alvarez, and Brandon White over at Southwest.
Brandon Blanco.
And Kramer at Pace. buddy, you guys really made this season, unforgettable.
Muggsy, yeah, no llores más, brother. There's no more crying, all right? There's no crying in baseball.
Oh,
Everybody knows that.
I'm not crying. There's just something in my eyes. Got my contact lens or something like that.
All right, guys, that is it for the 2025 spring high school season, and we will be back with the summer travel ball and tournament games.
Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time inside the park.